It's an honour to welcome you to the Saphira Centre of Shamanism, where we break down the ancient tech of shamanism and the occult, bringing them into balance with the deep psyche. My name is Luke, experienced practitioner and mentor of the shamanic and occult sciences. It's an honour to have you here with me. Thank you for joining me. Definitely check out the links if you have interest in joining with me. The first two links in the description are for my membership programs. First link for my premium membership service, and the second link for my Patreon. I look forward to seeing you over there. Today we're going to be discussing the dark side of lightworking and the paradox of descent, an essential topic to understand for anybody who is interested in shadow integration and genuine evolution. Lightworking is a concept which has become extremely popular within the New Age spiritual communities, with many people claiming to be lightworkers and all of these different things. The original definition of a lightworker is somebody who has basically made the decision to be the person to bring more positivity and beauty into the world. But many refuse to acknowledge that there is a paradox to this. Lightworking is something that has been completely twisted by the New Age spiritual communities and covered in gaslighting and spiritual dissociation, with a particular emphasis on removing dark energy instead of embracing it and merging with it, and realistically embodying the opposite. Okay, trying to focus on high vibrational states all the time and maintaining a high vibrational state. And then if you venture out of that high vibrational state, you're completely gaslit because you've reached this point in your process and you shouldn't be feeling like this anymore. These New Age lightworker teachings are extremely dangerous, extremely hard on the body, resonate with a lot of, let's face it, severely wounded people who just want to bring more peace and tranquility into their day-to-day lives, but don't want to do the work in order to attain that. The real role of a lightworker was somebody who was supposed to embrace the paradox of descent. The paradox of descent basically shatters the illusion of external ascent. A lot of New Age lightworker communities are very much focused on ascending to fifth dimensional consciousness and escaping the physical plane of existence. But in order to fully ascend and in order to fully raise your consciousness and raise your vibrational frequency, you need to embrace the paradox that comes from lowering your vibration. Lowering your vibration, descending into yourself, into the lower planes of existence, and making friends with what is there. You cannot ascend fully without first descending into yourself. Anything that you ascend towards that is outside of you is not actually you. It is the illusion of ascent. It's the illusion of evolution. And it takes you away from your true light, which is ultimately within you. A light worker, before the twisting of the New Age spiritual communities, a light worker was supposed to be somebody who helps you to find your true light, that helps people find their true light, which means that they are supposed to guide people into the shadow realms to reclaim what is truly theirs, reclaim essences of their soul, process their trauma, and ultimately merge with their truth and authenticity, finding their true light. But the New Age communities have twisted this into striving for things that are outside of yourself and actually avoiding dark energy like the plague and trying to maintain a high vibrational state, when in reality the system wants to embrace both polarities. And in order to actually raise your vibration, you first need to make friends with your lower self. You need to merge with the beast, merge with the aspects of yourself that you have villainized and refused ownership of, and only then can you hold a vessel, a sustainable vessel, to effectively contain the energies of the coming times. If you're focusing too much on striving for ascension outside of yourself, raising your consciousness to here and keeping the dark energies at bay, there is no way of being that is more harmful than this particular approach to healing, because it's not healing, it's coping. It's fueling coping mechanisms and fueling the need to escape the shadow. I used to practice a lot of healing, a lot of different healing modalities. And I used to really enjoy it, and I really used to feel like I was helping people. But I used to really see a I started to see a trend in a particular direction whereby people were coming in, and some people would experience a lot of change from it, whereas others would go away feeling really good and then come back a few months later with the same problem over and over again. It just ends up being a perpetual cycle. And then I really questioned my approach, because my approach used to be based off of what you could say more new age approaches to light working when it came to, exorcism, removing entities, removing curses, things like that. And I came to a big realization that I don't think I'm actually helping people. I don't think I'm actually helping people by doing this work. I feel like, yes, in essence, the outer layer is helping people, but really what I'm doing is helping people dissociate. Really, what I'm doing is helping people dissociate from their trauma, dissociate from their shadow, and remove accountability. So my view drastically changed. My view drastically changed from helping people remove their excess energy and become more balanced within themselves to helping people integrate the deepest and darkest aspects of themselves and journeying into the darker aspects of themselves to retrieve their truth and authenticity. This is what a real light worker is supposed to do. A real light worker is not supposed to avoid the shadow, is not supposed to bypass darkness, but is there to guide people into the shadow realms, into the lower aspects of themselves, to make friends with those parts so that they can connect to their truth and authenticity. So we're going to be discussing this paradox in depth, understanding how the paradox actually takes place, how the entire cosmos works through paradoxical energy, how embracing one polarity is paradoxically embracing the other, and how the lightworker, the New Age lightworker communities are so extremely damaging and actually end up cursing people unconsciously without realizing it. Absolutely essential topic to understand, so definitely stay tuned. So New Age lightworking absolutely does have its place. New Age lightworking is very good for people who are wanting to relax, for people who are wanting to feel more tranquil, and people who are wanting to feel more balanced within themselves. But it does not hold the potency to be able to initiate lasting results. The reason for that is because New Age lightworking is focused on one polarity only. Any practice or way of spirituality that focuses predominantly on one polarity is extremely fragmented and is going to cause somebody to fall significantly out of balance, which in terms of the New Age lightworking communities is completely against what is said to be the goal of being a light worker. Okay, as I said, the definition of a light worker is somebody who brings more beauty and light into the world. But with that comes a significant paradox. When you are embracing light, and you're embracing one polarity, which means that you are then paradoxically opening yourself up to the other polarity, which is the chaos and the dark matter. So this means that when you focus on chaos and dark matter and you embrace chaos and dark matter, you are opening yourself up to the light matter. It really comes with the balance of masculine and feminine energy and creation and destruction as a whole. If you look at the reality around you, if you look at the world around you, I've used this description in many videos, but everything is moving in that spiral motion. Everything is spiraling between those polarities. Everything is spiraling between creation, experience, dying and rebirthing. Creation, experience, dying and rebirthing. Those four stages that represent the four elements and the four seasons. Okay, here it's summer in the UK, not much of a summer, may I add, but in next month or so, everything is going to start dying. Everything is going to start decaying. Everything is going to fall apart. So this means that when you embrace, or when nature embraces rebirth and order and light, it is then paradoxically opening itself up to experience the opposite to that, which is the deconstruction and is the death process. And human beings are no different to that. When we are opening ourselves up to one polarity, we are embracing, say, if we embrace light, we're embracing order, we're embracing clarity, we're embracing form. But from that is going to come a significant death process, a death process that nature and the soul is needing to initiate in order to shed the illusion and become a purer vessel for what the soul is wanting to embody. So this means that New Age light working, because it focuses only on light, it means that it's focusing on denial of the very cosmic forces that are at play, a denial of the natural spiral and circular-like motion that everything moves in. Creation, experience, dying, and rebirthing. New Age light working completely bypasses that and ignores the fact that darkness is a necessary counterpart to the light. And when you're embracing light, you are embracing darkness paradoxically. When you die energetically, you are opening yourself up to a new self that is yet to be born. A new self will rise from the ashes when the leaves on that tree outside die. Then it's going to go through an integration phase, and then its new leaves are going to be birthed into being. That is the balance of darkness and light, creation and destruction, masculine and feminine energy. If I embody only my masculine energy, then it falls into wounded masculinity, which is dominance, power struggle, and the need to take excessive action. Little do they know, or little do I know, that I'm going to have to embrace the opposite. I'm going to have to learn to receive through the doors that I've opened through my masculine energy. Once I've embraced my feminine energy and I've received, then I'm going to have to move into a space where more action is required. So everything in the cosmos and outside of the cosmos works through paradoxical energy. And our psyche is structured in that way. Okay, if we look at the void, the primordial chaos that encases the light matter multiverse that we dwell within, this is a space that is feminine in nature, whilst we are dwelling within a masculine multiverse. This feminine space is not evil. It's dark, yes, but it's dark because it's not predefined by anything. So this means that embracing that darkness is then going to be embracing the very role of the darkness, which is to birth a new reality into being. So by embracing darkness, you are embracing the new self, the new order that is going to be birthed from that darkness. The perpetual cycle of New Age light working is as follows. Somebody feels like they've accumulated a lot of energy. Maybe they think that a spirit is attacking them. Maybe they think that, somebody's cursing them. So they go to a light worker and the light worker removes the energy. Yes, it's effective. Yes, it works for what they wanted it for. But then they go away feeling great and all light. That's great. Little do they know but that by embracing that light, they've opened themselves up to darkness, paradoxically, and then rupture starts to happen in their day-to-day lives. And then what do? They go running back to the light. Okay, please, light, get rid of the darkness. Get rid of the very forces that are trying to help me to grow and evolve. It comes with a huge misinterpretation as to what morality and what polarity actually is. Morality and polarity are two very, very different things. Morality is subjective according to the individual. And a decision that we make is either in alignment with our soul or it is not. The universe / the cosmos is not bound by morality in any way whatsoever. There is not a supreme being, despite what you think. There is not a supreme being sat on top of you, basically being like, oh yeah, no, basically taking note of all of the mistakes that you've made. What's actually defining the reality that you're cultivating is the karma that you are building, and karma is not defined by morality. Karma is defined by how aligned an intention and an action is to your true soul's essence. So if I behave or act in a way that is in alignment with my truth and authenticity, then that is going to generate helpful karma that's going to be for my evolutionary best interest. Whilst if I go against my soul's essence, that is going to generate karma that has a stronger possibility of moving into an evolutionary detriment for my personal process. So the lightworker community would have you believe that the darkness is evil and then the light is good. Where is this familiar? It's the same religious programming just projected into something else. Okay, the same religious programming that comes from seeing anything that is outside of cosmic order, anything that is outside of clarity and form as evil and not worthy of being seen or felt. So this causes many people to move in a perpetual cycle with light working. I've seen it happen. The clients that I used to see through shamanic healing, even though that's, darker and more earthy, a lot of shamanic practice is built towards actually removing darkness, which in my view is extremely unwise. Because if you're removing dark energy, you are basically removing the dark matter from somebody's field that is there to help somebody process and evolve. And yes, they will feel immediately better after. Yes, they will get what they've come to you for. But the question is it helping them? Is it helping this individual? If somebody is coming to you or you are going to somebody to remove your dark energy, is that helping your evolutionary process? Is that actually helping you grow or evolve? Or is it helping you cope? There is a very big difference between healing and coping, and many people project the Western view of a treatment into the polarities, and therefore approach light working, approach healers, and approach different modalities from the perspective of receiving a treatment as an intervention for their own darkness. And this is the real danger of New Age light working, because it causes people to move in perpetual cycles of running away from their own shadow, projecting it onto the spirit world and saying, oh, this entity's after me, or oh, that's after me, or there's something outside of me that is stopping me from being in my power. There is no bigger projection of sovereignty when this is taking place. And these light workers, or so-called light workers, take on clients that are in this space and validate it. They validate it. Oh, here, I'll get rid of that dark energy for you. Oh, here, I'll do that because I have such a need to be needed. And if I don't do it, then I'm going to feel inadequate. This is the majority of the New Age lightworker community, and it's extremely dangerous because it doesn't honor the balance of the polarities that are required within one's evolutionary path. Now, it can move into the opposite direction, don't get me wrong. People that I see within the left-hand path often, left-hand path occult practices, they interact more with anti-cosmic forces than cosmic forces. I've seen the same rejection towards light. Yeah, so then they reject light and then only embody darkness as a form of either self-harm or as blatant nihilism and narcissism. So it can fall into either polarity realistically, but without realizing it, you're embracing one polarity and then you're paradoxically embracing the other. Our whole universe operates through paradoxical energy because we have a conscious and unconscious mind. We mirror that of the cosmos within our own psyche. The cosmos is made up of light matter multiverse. Of course, that's the pure awareness. How does that mirror the psyche? That's the conscious mind. That's the conscious mind, the beam of pure awareness. The dark matter is the infinitely dark space that surrounds it, which is the unconscious mind. And that's the majority of the psyche. So how your psyche is going to interact with you is that it's going to bring you things through the world around you that are going to be archetypal representations of what are not owned and fully processed within yourself. What do light workers do in response to somebody who is going through that very necessary transmutation process? They intervene and they cut off the process. They cut off the integration process that's taking place by removing the dense energy. Does it get rid of the problem? Temporarily. A few days later, the same problems come back. I've seen it time and time again. Yeah, where this person thinks that they're being attacked by this entity. This person thinks that something outside of them is trying to stop them from stepping into their sovereignty. It's exactly the same as an extremely religious person blaming the devil for everything and blaming, the darkness for everything. The lightworker community is built in the same way, and it gaslights you for feeling emotions. Okay, it gaslights you for feeling emotions. And the reason why, in my personal process, why I'm so hot on this and why I am so against the New Age spiritual communities is simply because I have family members who are terminally ill. And they, from what I've seen, are very much in that New Age view of everything. Spirituality 101. Okay, and are very much hard-coded into it. Even to the point where in the midst of being in significant physical discomfort, there's still this view as to like, I need to raise my vibration. My vibration is low. Then it's like, but you're in severe physical discomfort. You're in severe physical discomfort and you're still being gaslit by the New Age. You're still being gaslit by the New Age spiritual communities that have fed this very destructive lie that having a low vibration is a bad thing. Rubbish. Absolute rubbish. Okay? In order to ascend, you need to descend inwards and understand yourself. That's what we've come here to do. Everyone to different capacities, yes. But we have come here to understand ourselves. Okay? Not escape ourselves. We haven't come here to escape the physical experience. We've come here to dissolve the illusion, to understand who we are underneath all of the dissociation, underneath all of the false clarity, underneath all of the lies that we've been fed about the polarities, in order to really understand that we are a part of both, that we are an archetype of Abraxas being the Gnostic God that transcends duality, and the real supreme being is us, but it's locked away, scared of stepping into a polarity because it's learnt that stepping into a polarity condemns you. When the lightworker community gaslights you for being in a low vibration or for feeling human emotions, and then gives you a set of techniques and energy healing modalities to help you to dissociate from your emotions and not actually grow and evolve, what's that doing to the body? Those emotions have to go somewhere. If they're not being felt and they're not being embraced, they go inwards. They go inwards and they store, they become crystallized within the nervous system. Those crystallized emotions and unmet needs then get projected by the electromagnetic field that is your energy field and then magnetize the same experiences. But even more so, energetically, they magnetize energies, entities, thought forms, things like that are then pulled in through resonance in order to break the cycle, in order to break through those crystallized emotions and get people integrating their stuff. But the lightworker community doesn't work that way. The lightworker community is not about integration. It's not about embracing your own darkness and finding your true light that is hidden within the darkness. It's about how can I feel better? Stick to this state of cosmic order that was given to you because it feels more comfortable. Meanwhile, life is just rupturing time and time again. Meanwhile, the same traumas are manifesting time and time again. And because many people have this new age light worker viewpoint of things, the chaos comes in, they fall a victim to what's happened, and then they go and seek a treatment for it. They go and seek an intervention for this very experience that has manifested as a result of them ignoring their trauma. So every spirit attachment that you feel, if a spirit attaches to you, an entity, parasitic being, astral parasite, whatever that is, it's a mirror of your own trauma. Yes, it's a being, but it is a mirror of your own trauma. Yes, it can be removed. Yes, it can be exorcised from the system. But unless the deeper trauma is looked at and owned, it's pointless. It's good to actually develop the practice of actually sinking into your darkness, sinking into your emotions. And this is why I recommend people who are training with me to always take time each day in stillness. Take time each day to sit in stillness without any distractions, no music, no TV, no nothing, no phone, no scrolling, and actually sit and process where you are. Sit and feel your emotions where you are here and now and descend into them. Let yourself descend. Because the problem only arises when you stop yourself from descending. When you try and hold on to any state of feeling better. It's extremely destructive, extremely hard on the body, and is at a severe evolutionary detriment to those who engage in these types of practices. So acknowledge that we've come here to experience both polarities, and light working focuses on only one. And any practice that focuses on only one polarity and embracing one over the other and stepping into your light and ignoring your darkness, there's nothing more destructive than that. Because it distracts you from the very force that is responsible for deconstructing illusion. And then light working becomes righteousness. The light turns into righteousness because we get blinded by it without seeing anything that's past it. And then we continue this perpetual cycle of fighting with our own darkness, fighting with our own shadow, and ignoring the imprints that are very much within our unconscious mind that are trying to force their way to the surface. And I keep saying it, but it's extremely hard on the body when we are trying to be positive. If we are trying to maintain a high vibrational state, it's extremely hard on the body because the unconscious mind is not there. The unconscious mind is holding on to the same belief systems, patterns, and unprocessed emotions that have not been allowed to be seen, felt, and fully embraced. So even the concept of trying to maintain a high vibrational state is completely illusionary because you've then got 80% of your psyche which is saying something different. So we can stay in that repressed space, in that space whereby we approach light workers to make us feel better. We hold on to light and neglect darkness, but it's not sustainable for the evolution. In order to really evolve, you have to break your karmic cycles. Evolution comes from breaking karma. It comes from breaking karmic cycles which have been set in motion. And breaking a karmic cycle is not always an easy thing to do because it means actually being vulnerable and it means actually following your true will, which according to a lot of our trauma, we've learned that is not safe to really feel and embody fully. So when it comes to actually breaking karma, you have to make the decision to be vulnerable. You have to make the decision to actually cultivate a life that is different from what you experienced when you were a child, that is different from the trauma that actually took place. And this is what descent does for you. Descending inwards is helping you to understand your karmic patterns, understand how it is a perpetual cycle, so that you can take the steps and undergo the necessary initiations and the necessary integration that breaks those karmic cycles. Whereas if you're just sticking to the light and you're embodying the light, you're sticking to what feels comfortable. That's great. Okay, you may be maintaining this comfort, but more rupture is going to come in to get you to break the cycle. This is the thing. We've all come here with karmic cycles to break. Okay, we've all come here with karmic cycles to break. It is shown in aspects of our astrology. I, for myself, have a 12th house stellium in my astrology chart, which is all things relating to the deep psyche, but also coming here with immense karmic backlog. I'm coming here with the intention to break dense karmic backlog across multiple lifetimes. My Lilith in 8th house basically suggests that I do that through occultism. And as I've gone through my occult initiations, that's become clear that that is what my path is. That my path is descent into deconstructing the karma that I have established from previous lifetimes. Deconstructing the karma that has been established from previous lifetimes and engaging with technologies that need to hold that level of work. That's why the Qliphoth and other initiatory systems are so aligned to my soul's blueprint, because these are the only things that are going to trigger the karma purification that my soul is wanting from this lifetime. And everybody has different needs, but the paradox of descent is the key to ascent. You have to go inwards and understand yourself on a deeper level, descend into your darkest aspects and make friends with those aspects of self. And only then can you break these karmic cycles. You cannot break these karmic cycles by holding on to false light outside of yourself, by trying to keep yourself in a high vibration. Then you're just building more negative karma. Then you're building karma in the same direction, which is against the evolution of your soul. Your soul wants you to experience everything, has come here for you to experience everything. So holding yourself in one polarity is extremely dangerous, because it builds more perpetual karmic cycles in that direction. And sticking to that state of comfort is not what the soul has come here to do. If you are pulled towards powerful evolutionary processes such as the Qliphoth, such as the Sephiroth, such as different aspects of occult initiation, different aspects of shamanic initiation, then I can guarantee you that you haven't come here to live a comfortable life. You know, I guarantee you that you've come here to make the decision between what is right and what is easy and comfortable. And what is right is always going to be your truth, authenticity, and vulnerability, which, according to our programming, is always going to be the more challenging option, because it involves going against the grain, going against what humanity has programmed you to do, and that's avoid your own unconscious mind, which is where the power is. Religion programs you to avoid your own unconscious mind, and the lightworker community, the New Age lightworker community, does exactly that as well. The New Age lightworker community basically carries that same belief system and actually tailors so-called interventions or healings that are there to help people sort of dissociate from their own stuff and actually label it as healing. So real healing and integration comes when you are actually becoming more vulnerable with yourself and more vulnerable with the world around you. A sign that you are not integrating is if you are becoming more closed off to the world, and your heart is actually closing and your true sense of self-expression is becoming more repressed. That is the opposite direction. Real healing and integration comes through vulnerability, comes through experiencing true love and beauty. And this was always what light workers were supposed to help you to do. Experience more love and beauty, experience more beauty in the world, and ultimately make the world a better place. But we don't realize that when we are actually ignoring the darkness, we are not making the world a better place. We're actually causing more darkness and more chaos and more re-traumatization to manifest within the world around us. So the more we focus on light only, the more stuff is going to manifest as a result of the things that we have built up unprocessed within our unconscious mind. So I encourage you to really look at, if you're somebody who is interested in real evolution and actually wants to evolve, ask yourself, am I evolving? Am I becoming more open? Is my heart opening? Am I becoming more vulnerable with myself? Am I becoming more vulnerable with the world? Am I willing to go out of my shell? Am I able to connect more with the world around me? Am I able to connect more with myself? Or am I trying to escape my own darkness? Am I trying to hold on to a shell and a protective mechanism because I've learned that life isn't safe without it? Because that's not a sign of integration. And this is, unfortunately, what the New Age lightworker communities do encourage. And understand and very much remember that those emotions have to go somewhere. if you don't express them and you don't feel them, they're going to go inside. They're going to crystallize within the nervous system, and they are going to impair your body's function. Absolutely essential topic to understand. Massive topic, but I think that's everything that I needed to speak about in today's video. Definitely hit like and subscribe if this video was helpful to you. Definitely check out my membership programs, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you.